this is the Cuda punch, and the Cuda punch is hyped to be a just super powerful punch. And you know, I read it and people are talking about you can kill somebody with one Cuda punch and all this stuff. Well, everybody says that. So I wasn't impressed with that. What I liked about Cuda was that these movements in Cuda are just like the Aikido movements. And so this punch fitted in very, very well with Aikido. I have a friend that is a grandmaster in karate, and I was showing him this punch, and he went home and tried it, and he called me on the phone and he said, this Cuda punch is the most devastating punch I've ever seen in my life. Well, that kind of impressed me. Okay, well maybe there really is something to the power in this punch. But still, you know, this guy's a good friend of mine. You know, I figure he's being nice to me. I had a couple of boxers come train with us here, and both of these guys were extremely experienced. One of them, who was a full-time, his job in the Army, he was career military, his job in the Army for 3 years was boxing. That was his full-time job. That's what he did all the time. So he was a very good boxer, very experienced. So I show him this Cuda punch. He goes home, he comes back to the next class, and he says, you know, that Cuda punch is at least 60% more powerful than a cross. Well, now this did impress me, because here's a guy who is an extremely good boxer, and the first time out striking with a Cuda punch, he's doing, in his opinion, 60% more power than he can get in a cross. And at the same time he was here, I had another boxer who was extremely semi-pro boxer, boxing promoter, all this stuff, practicing with us. And he hadn't paid any attention to the punch at all. He didn't come here because he had any interest in learning anything about striking. So next time he was here, next class, I said, well, you know, this other boxer says that this Cuda punch is 60% more powerful than a cross. I would like for you to try it and see what you think about it. So he tried it, and he hadn't even paid any attention to how you do it, so he didn't even know what to do. So I showed him what I'm about to show you now. And so he did the cross with his right hand, he did the Cuda punch with his left hand, and you could see the bag was going twice as far when he hit it with his Cuda punch as it was going when he hit it with his cross. So this is a powerful punch. Now, the way this is normally practiced in Cuda is you stand with your feet perpendicular to the line of attack. So here the bag is in front of me here. The line of attack is from the bag through me. So you're standing perpendicular to the line of attack. And then when you punch, to get your body into the punch, you pivot your body. So you're pivoting to one side. And I think the reason the punch is powerful is because of this pivot. If you'll notice, when you hit the bag, your back foot is not on the ground at all. You're spinning. So it's not one of these punches where you're set here and driving off your back leg to hit. It's not that kind of punch at all. Your back leg is not even on the ground. So if you watch the feet, see this foot is still in the air. Well, this pivot is what I like so much, because this is how Aikido's done. And so this punch is just like Aikido movements. So everything else is the same here. You see that somebody's starting to punch you, and you pivot, you blink, you do your startle response, your hand whips out, and you're racing against the eye blink. And that's where you do this, that's where this punch comes from. So the critical thing here to get your body in it is this pivot. And when you strike, you don't leave your hand there, you pull your hand back, you're going right into your next movement. So you might be doing another strike here, you might be striking somebody else, whatever you're doing. Now that's what I call the defensive way of using this, because you're standing here talking to somebody or something and they go to attack you and you just spin and hit. Now there's another way that really looks more like the way Aikido is normally practiced. Although you can practice Aikido this way, that's not, we do it in our club and we do Aikido throws from this. So we're standing at arm's length from somebody like this, like we normally talk, and they suddenly attack, and you know, we're doing our Aikido throw. Or this punch, either way. But Aikido is normally practiced further away. So another way of doing the Cuda punch, still they're starting this way. Now we'll do this in an Aikido stance, but I'm showing you the Cuda right now. So they're here, where they step forward here and do this punch. And particularly on this one, but on any of them, when you do the punch, you actually lean into the punch some. So this would be this kind of movement. And if you, so you're striking, you're pulling this hand back, and these end up being really fast. And because you'll notice that when I'm striking here, is this hand's hitting, this hand's also coming forward. So when I go to strike here, you know, that second hand comes in there so fast. So these are the basic elements of your Cuda punch. And from this punch then, it's easy to step right on in. When you do, like if you're going to do an Aikido throw, you'd be here. Well, you step here. Well, when this second punch comes, you step right on through and right into your throw. So this works perfectly. It blends so perfectly with Aikido that you never even think of it as being borrowed from somewhere else. Whereas in Aikido, you do have strikes built into your katas, but when you're told to do a strike in Aikido, or when you see people putting in extra strikes or something, usually it's either karate or it's jiu-jitsu, and to my sensitivity, they don't fit into Aikido well at all, whereas this fits perfectly.